Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week I've been driving the 2026 Subaru Uncharted Sport. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric brand new Subaru. Now, I am super excited to be making this video here today because I've spent the last week driving the Uncharted, and this actually hasn't hit dealers yet as of the making of this video. So it's always super special to be driving something that isn't readily available to the public quite yet. But also, this is the next chapter in Subaru's endeavor into the electric world, and we're going to be giving it a fair test drive here today. Now, something I want to try out in this video is you'll see in the bottom corner a little percentage. I am going to charge this vehicle and give you a real-time percentage update throughout the entire video. You'll see how fast this car charges in real time by the end. So let me know if you like this feature in a video. Let me know if it helps sort of gauge charge time of vehicles. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that all-electric powertrain. Well, it is good for about 338 horsepower, but the more important number is the range at about 287 miles. Now, I would have loved to have seen the 300-mile mark. That's sort of my barometer for EVs. Anything over 300 is pretty manageable. It's close enough at 287. It's a fine amount, and I'm not too worried about it. Power is great. It's not going to knock your socks off in a straight line, but it is very, very brisk, especially if you're coming from a gasoline vehicle. Especially Subarus have never really been known to be that quick besides their WRX and STI line vehicles. So it is relatively quick in that way. Driving is great. It's nice and quiet. It's a smooth ride. It's not jittery. It's not unbalanced over bumps or anything like that. It is a nice electric experience that I've come to know and love from many different brands, and it's nice to see Subaru dipping their toe in as well. Visibility is good. Again, cabin noise is pretty low, so it's been a nice driving experience over the last week. Now, with those dual motors, we actually do have Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. So with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a digital gauge cluster. I don't really like this because it is pretty up and far away, and also there's a lot going on. I don't need to see all of this stuff. It's pretty busy, and I hope that Toyota fixes this in the future. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our phone options, selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as volume and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise, skip track, and mode. The steering wheel also has a flat top and bottom, which I don't love, but it does look modern, but in practice, it's negligible. Off to the left, we do have this orange striping up above the climate vent. We also have our gauge dimmer switch, trip odometer reset, automatic high beams, our headlight washers, and our tailgate release. Moving on to the door, we have our memory seat options, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a giant infotainment display. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are included, of course. However, besides that, nothing really too crazy here. You'll notice that this is the standard Toyota system, so they normally don't pack any crazy features in here. We can take a look at our charging schedule. We can set a charging schedule if you have an at-home charger. We could turn on and off our battery preconditioning, as well as take a look at what the all-wheel drive system is doing. Now, our climate controls are ran through the screen. Honestly, I don't mind this as much as I used to. I used to throw a hissy fit about having screen climate controls. They've really been doing better recently. I haven't had it be laggy. It's pretty intuitive, and it works well enough. We also do have a backup camera as well as a 360 camera, which is very nice to see and obviously awesome to operate. Down below that, we have two climate control vents, the hazard switch, dual wireless chargers, and our center control stack. So off to the left, we have our camera view button, power parking brake, and auto holding brake. And off to the right, we have our drive modes, traction control off, our X mode. This is exclusive to the Subaru Uncharted, not the Toyota CHR. And we have our grip control, so we can raise and lower our grip. This really reminds me of the old school WRX STIs where they used to have a diff controller in the center console, kind of a similar idea there. In the center is the shifter, kind of wonky to use, but once you know how to use it, it's pretty simple. And back behind that, we do have cup holders that unfortunately fail the big friggin' bottle test. Now we do get a center console, but before we talk about the seats, there are no visible USB ports in the vehicle. Now it does have USB ports. They are down below the wireless chargers, but it took me forever to find these, to the point where I ended up having to Google where they were because they're not in your line of sight. So if you get in the car, check down below, you will find a USB-C. I thought it was an oversight, but alas, it did have it. Now we'll talk about the seats. The seats are heated and power, which for the sport trim is all I can really ask for, and they've been comfortable enough over the several hundred miles that I've been able to do here in the Uncharted. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, let's get into the back of the Subaru Uncharted. And you can tell right off the bat, not crazy space back here. Black interior as well, doesn't help. Ugh. And here we are. My knees are hitting the seat in front of me, and this is my driving position. Actually, I moved it up just a slight touch, try to give myself a little bit better of a chance. So not fantastic. We do have two USB-Cs down here, two climate vents. Love to see that, but no other amenities back here. We could pull this center console out. We do get two cup holders. Headroom is good, so I can fit back here relatively comfortably. You know, my knees are touching the seat in front of me, but it's not the worst case in the world. Being a 5'11", not small guy, I do fit. This is the smaller chassis. If you want more space, you need more space, and you want a Subaru EV, you can go up to the Solterra. It does have a better back seat than this, but this isn't bad. It's fine. It's a little bit more compact. That's what you should expect out of a vehicle like this. Being a bigger guy and I fit okay, you'll probably fit fine. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. So from the front, you can really tell that it looks like a Solterra, but from the back, it does have its own design around the back. Really big rear window that doesn't slope as much as you would think. We do have a button here right underneath the A of Subaru for the power tailgate. Very, very nice to see that. Once we are in here, we do get a wall outlet. This is absolutely huge and so incredibly useful. We can pull this up down here. We have a little bit of storage down here as well. Very, very nice to see that. Sometimes underfloor storage in EVs is not really possible because that's where the batteries are. So nice that we get any type of underfloor storage at all in a vehicle like this. So coming up here, we do have our tailgate or tailgate and lock if the vehicle is off, but the vehicle is currently on. So we will just put the tailgate down on the Subaru Uncharted. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I actually quite like the look of the Subaru Uncharted. It does vary quite a bit from the CHR. It does noticeably have different accents, and I think it looks quite a bit like its Solterra older sibling, so I like that. I don't really love the color. I wish it was a brighter, more interesting color, especially here on the overcast day. It is so ridiculously boring. I have always found Subaru to be a more fun company than Toyota, and I wish this car would show that. Alas, it does not, so we're stuck here with this cloud gray color. It's actually Metropolis Gray Metallic. Hooray! With all that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think having driven the Subaru Uncharted for the last week? Well, I like this as an EV. I think it does a lot of things really well. The range is fine enough. The power is certainly there. It has nice features at the base model, and I do believe that $41,000 competitively with other products is a fair price. I remember a few years ago, I had a 2022 Hyundai Kona EV as a press car for a week, and that was $43,000. That was $2,000 more 4 years ago. And so this is way more bang for your buck than that vehicle. So I think $41K is fair enough. It would have been $39 before destination and the $500 color option, or $496, whatever it is. So if you're looking for an EV, you've been eyeing the Uncharted, you really want one, here it is. This is what the car is like. I hope you enjoyed the video. But let's get on to my personal feelings. And they are cloudy, almost as cloudy as the paint itself. Here's the reality. I like this car. I think it functions well. it's good. This, to me, is in no way a Subaru. Not only in the fact that everything you touch in here screams Toyota. That gauge cluster, I did not misspeak when I said I hope Toyota fixes this, because every Toyota product has this gauge cluster because it was designed by Toyota. The steering wheel and the buttons are Toyota. The center screen is pulled out of the Lexus RX 350. Everything inside and out is Toyota because this car is built together with the Toyota CHR. Subaru has been mirroring Toyota's releases. Toyota released the Toyota BZ. Subaru came out with the Solterra. Now, Toyota came out with the CHR. Subaru came out with the Uncharted. Toyota came out with the BZ Woodland. Subaru came out with the Trail Seeker. And just the night before filming this, Toyota had already announced the EV Highlander. So now, Subaru is bringing out their version of the EV Highlander called the Getaway. So every time Toyota has made an EV, Subaru has made a version. They have collaborated on all of these products. And I don't think that they're bad products. I think they drive well. I think they function well as appliance vehicles. My issue comes with Subaru. Subaru, to me, has always been A, an outdoorsy company, a more adventurous company, and B, a sporty company. Now, they've kind of left their sportiness in the past. They haven't done an STI model in a few years. They do have the BRZ, but that's really the only sporty car they still have. The WRX is semi-sporty and available with a manual, I'll give you that. But there's no real big focus on sporty anymore. That's fine. Subaru's other big focus and their ethos with all of their products has been outdoor and adventure. Even the base model Forester had all-wheel drive, good ground clearance, and good off-road ability. But Subaru has always been an odd company and a company that does things just a little bit different than everyone. That's what I loved about Subaru. I love that they're not like Nissan, Honda, Toyota, trying to all do the same thing in a different way. Subaru was on their own track, and I think they built a following off of that. Subaru owners are die-hard, and they will never buy anything else. But now, driving the Solterra last year, driving this Uncharted this year, this is not a Subaru product. I mean, it technically is, but it isn't. It doesn't have the feeling of a Subaru. I would not off-road this like I would a Subaru. This doesn't match what Subarus have always stood for. And it's just sad to see that Subaru is starting to go mainstream. I get it. They want to make money, and maybe this is a way to do it. But you can almost watch the light leave Subaru's eyes. They used to be this well-known company for rallying and strange-sounding boxer motors and big hood scoops, and then off-road suspension. You could buy a tiny little hatchback that could outperform a Wrangler on a trail. The Forester was this little lunchbox car that would beat the snot out of anything on a gravel road. And now this is just a normie car. This is just another refrigerator on wheels. It's nothing special. It's not bad. It works well. I'm warm on a cold, rainy day, but this doesn't have the heart of a Subaru. This car doesn't whisper in your ear, hey, let's go on an adventure. Let's drive up that mountain. You see that gravel road? Let's hit that gravel road. This car doesn't make the REI membership card in my wallet burn. This car doesn't make me want to go out and buy a 3-person tent and invite 2 more people on a camping trip. This car doesn't inspire adventure like the Subarus of the past have. And I think the Outback Wilderness is a great car. It's ugly, but it's a great car. And it fits that very well. That is an adventurous car, and every time I drove it, it was like I had this burning sensation in my stomach telling me to go somewhere I hadn't been. Driving the Foresters, you get this itch, this feeling, this wonderment. Driving the old Subaru Legacy, they had a feature where you could lay down and it had a second sunroof so you could stargaze from the front seats in a prone position. I don't get any of those feelings with this. And it's more than the fact that it shares Toyota parts. That's not the root of the cause. It's just the fact that this has no adventure at all. This is the friend that used to be up for anything, and now, well, they have the corporate job, and they got a wife and kids, and that spark is just gone. In Subaru's pursuit of being mainstream, they've lost the plot. And so again, I want it to be known that this is a good car, and I like it. It's just not a Subaru, in my opinion. And with Subaru pushing out 2 more EVs after this, it seems as though they've made their bed. And well, You know the rest of that saying. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Subaru for letting me borrow their Uncharted for the last week. Huge thank you to G. Schmidt for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwest Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the charger percentage down at the bottom of this video, the entire video. Let me know if you want that feature to stick around. I thought it'd be interesting, thought I'd try it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.